Liverpool just unlocked the biggest transport investment in its history. And the shockwave started immediately, because while the headline hit like a thunderclap, the real momentum began quietly. In rooms where maps were spread, routes were argued, and decades-old bottlenecks were finally dragged into the light. The £1.6 billion settlement signed off by national government gives Liverpool City region a once-in-a-generation chance to rebuild its transport backbone. Steve Rotherham framed it as a transformation rather than just an upgrade. New rail stations across St Helens, Wirral, Holton and Liverpool, faster connections to economic hubs, a modernised bus network and the region's first rapid transport corridors. It's money that took years to secure, now landing all at once, with a mandate to reshape how more than 1 million people move, commute and access opportunity. This isn't a transport tweak, it's the region rewriting how it grows for the next 40 years. And the first place that rewrite becomes visible is on the rails. The rail map of Liverpool is about to change, literally, because beneath the buzz of announcements, planners have been stitching together a network that reaches neighbourhoods long left off the grid. 3 new stations will emerge: Carmill, Woodchurch and Daresbury, are moving from sketches to funded construction. Liverpool Baltic, already approved, becomes the city's next major urban connector. Runcorn gets a complete redevelopment, and for the first time areas around SciTech Daresbury will be pulled directly into regional rail network, supporting thousands of new tech science jobs. In parallel, older stations get accessibility upgrades, bringing step-free travel to thousands who didn't have it before. Each station is more than concrete. It's a signal that entire communities are being re-invited into the city's economic life. But rails are only one piece of this, because what comes next moves even faster. Liverpool is finally building the rapid transit system it's talked about for decades. And it didn't emerge from a single grand plan. It grew from a subtle shift in how the region imagines movement itself. Around £100 million is earmarked to launch a high-frequency, high-capacity, rapid transport network, linking the city centre to the airport, following to the waterfront, to stadiums, universities and dense residential areas. Think about rail-style reliability on rubber wheels, with dedicated lanes, priority signalling, modern electric fleets, and seamless transfers between rail and bus. It's designed to fill the gaps, the places rail can't reach, but where demand is exploding. With rapid transit, the 30-minute city becomes real. Suddenly, whole journeys collapse in time, but speed only matters if the system is easy to use. And that's where the next shift happens. Liverpool is finally building a one-ticket system for everything. And while it may seem like the smallest change on paper, it's often the hidden gears that change how a city feels. The plan introduces a city-wide smart ticketing platform covering rail, rapid transit, buses, to ferries and future mobility modes. One fare cap, one payment system, one experience. On top of that, the investment expands the step-free access across the network and funds new walking, cycling and wheel routes that connect stations to neighbourhoods. The result is a system designed for everyone: commuters, families, disabled travellers and even tourists, without friction, confusion or hidden charges. When a system becomes effortless, people actually start using it. And that unlocks everything else. And everything else begins with what this upgrade allows the region to build next. Transport isn't the end goal, it's the trigger for Liverpool's next wave of regeneration. Because behind every new station and corridor, there's a neighbourhood waiting for its turning point. The investment is tied directly to housing and economic growth zones. Bootle's restructuring, Birkenhead's waterfront renewal, Huyton's town centre rebuild, and major new developments in North Liverpool and South Sefton. Sites once constrained by poor transport now becomes viable for thousands of new homes, including more than 10,000 planned across multiple corridors. Businesses will get new commuter catchments, and previously isolated communities get real access to jobs, education and services. Move the transport first and the city's future stops being hypothetical. It becomes buildable. But the most important part isn't what's being built, what it makes possible next. This £1.6 billion isn't the finale. It's the first chapter of a much longer transformation. Because even as the plans roll out, the region is already sketching the next leaps, with expanded lines, bigger fleets, and entirely new ways of moving. The investments align with the 2040 Local Transport Plan, a long-term blueprint covering every mode, rail extensions, a unified bus network, active travel grids, and freight and port modernisation. And along with the long-discussed mass transit spine that could reshape commuting across Merseyside, public consultation opens soon, and political negotiations will decide which major builds get accelerated, delayed, or redesigned. Meanwhile, the authority prepares to phase construction, some stations breaking ground sooner, others queued for final approval. This isn't a project, it's a pivot point. The decisions made will now outlive the generation making them. And that's exactly where this story widens. So Liverpool's £1.6 billion transport investment isn't just money, it's momentum. With new stations redrawing the map, rapid transit compressing the city, and smart ticketing dissolving barriers, regeneration zones are waking up. And the region steps into a future where movement becomes possibility instead of limitation. But the most interesting part hasn't happened yet. Budgets still need allocating, routes still need finalising, and consultations will reshape what gets built first, and what gets built at all. And as the new network begins to rise, the real question becomes, how far will Liverpool push this momentum, and which part of the city will transform next? Because the next chapter won't be about what was funded, it will be about what the region decides to do with it. If you enjoyed this video and you want more videos just like this, make sure that you like the video, leave a comment on what you thought about this story and subscribe to my channel. If there's any projects that you want me to cover, make sure you put this in the comments and I'll try to reply to everyone that I can.